Welcome everyone, this is Pally Niels and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week I'm joined by Cinders.
Hello.
Hello there, Cinders. Are you ready to hear a little bit of letter from the developers?
Yes, I am.
Alright, this is a letter from Orion for December 2024, which is about their plans for 2025 in the latest letter to the players. Hello and happy holidays from the Lord of the Rings Online team. It has been an eventful year. We released the Corsairs of Umbar Instance Cluster and the Macha Corbo Raid, celebrated the 17th anniversary of the game's release, opened the Catacombs of Umbar, introduced a new hobby with birding, a fourth profession slot, added the new Dragon Instance, updated the look of the elves, and released the latest expansion, The Legacy of Morgoth. In addition, we released the first 64-bit servers with the legendary worlds of Mordor and Angmar using the special rule set, the Veil of the Nine. We think it is fair to say that 2024 was a very full year. While we take a breath to reinvigorate ourselves for the next year and the many years beyond, we want to provide insight into the future of the Lord of the Rings Online. The first order of business is to provide you with information on efforts we have made in 2024 coming to fruition. In the early part of the first quarter of 2025, we plan to open new 64-bit servers in Europe and the United States. These servers will be open to all players and will not require VIP status to access. We will have more information about servers and transfers to these new worlds in early 2025. This has been a long effort, and we appreciate your patience and support while we get these details right. You can expect Severlin to sit with Cordovan sometime after the start of the new year to discuss the decisions behind the 64-bit servers, their placement in Europe and the United States, and details on what to expect. We hope this news is welcome and that you will be as excited as we are for the opportunity the 64-bit servers and opening transfers will afford. Now, this date that they're going to be discussing this is currently scheduled for January 10th, which is going to be the next episode of Court of the Ring, since Cordovan is going to be out for the next 2 weeks. So, what do you say about that?
I think that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
I won't listen to it, but I think it'll be interesting for those of you who do. I will wait until hear your commentary on it.
No, I meant on the
To-
64-bit servers in
oh,
general, not just not just.
I thought you were talking about the thing with Severlin.
No,
I was like, I'm gonna just wait for the Cliff Notes version from you, or in this case, the Pine Leaf Notes.
the Pine
Um,
Notes. Okay.
yes. No, I like the idea of the 64-bit servers, especially if they're not operating with the Veil of Nine. The Veil of the Nine has been a huge reason why I haven't tried the 64-bit servers because that does not sound fun to me.
Right.
Um, say there, like that's the primary reason I dislike playing the Pokemon games too. Like I don't want to have to turn around and fight something every single stinking time to be able to keep going. Like I want to be able to go point A to point B, and I'd like to be able to get around the stuff that I don't want to fight. Like, and I want to be able to do things that don't require fighting sometimes, and where nothing's gonna pop up out of nowhere. So,
Well,
um,
they they only pop up after you've killed something.
yeah. See, like sometimes you have to kill stuff, and I don't
Yeah.
want something else to pop up. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of waiting to see what's gonna happen and how stable they're gonna be before I get too excited.
Okay. Very well. And there were several questions in the forums about these in their time, and I guess we could discuss that because right now, for some reason, I think Orion thought that they stated the exact number of servers that they're planning on bringing up, but I have a feeling it's something that wound up on the floor or something because I don't see it anywhere here where they tell us number, even though later on in the forums they did post it that it is 2 US servers and 2 European servers.
Yeah, I think say he left it really vague.
Yeah.
Because well, and it's possible when he wrote it, he didn't have the exact numbers.
Right.
64-bit servers in Europe and the United States, and I think they expect it to be implied that there would be one each. But you know,
Yeah, it looks like they're currently planning on 2 each. That's in addition to
okay.
the legendary ones that currently exist.
So it'd be a grand total of 4 new ones that are opening,
Grand total of 4 new ones. It
two
look
in each area.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like they haven't decided yet what they're doing relating to languages.
I wonder if the 64-bit server supports multiple languages.
Well, that's a possible. Well, actually, technically, all the servers support all 3 languages. It's just that the idea there is you have to gather the most of the people that speak a common language, so therefore, it's the number of people that are going to be present that speak the language that makes a difference. I mean, someone could go and type in German messages on Langeable if they wanted. It's just that they're not likely going to get much of an answer unless they type it in on one of the German servers.
Yeah.
Though I do remember one time that on Weatherstock, one of the people running it decided to, on the day of Weatherstock, decided to switch his client back to running in Germany, though he had been playing recently in English. And he put out a message saying, "Oh no, I forgot how to play the game in my native language."
Yeah. Well, I think there might also be the assumption that the 2 in the United States would run primarily English.
Right.
And then the ones in Europe that, because they tend to be multilingual, that maybe it wouldn't have to be language specific, depending on where they're placing it.
Well, I'm assuming that these new servers are going to be in Germany, since you're going to have probably at the same location as the Mordor server is located. I mean, that would be my guess.
You would think, but they've left it open where they're like, we're going to discuss their decisions and their placement.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, it feels like maybe they're going to stick it somewhere it hasn't been before or something. I don't know.
Well, anyway, I'm guessing right now that it's going to be European servers in Germany, and the US servers are going to be in Vegas. That would be my current guess.
Nice.
We'll see whether. I mean, I guess there's also a possibility in Jersey, but right now I noticed that DDO, their US server is in their US 64-bit server is in Vegas. I have no idea where Angmar is located. I know,
I don't know.
north of the North Downs. I know. Yeah.
Let's say I specifically just don't ever look for that kind of information.
Yeah.
I really don't care. I just want to be able to log in and play.
True.
So long as I can log in and play on whatever server is in the US, I'm going to be pretty happy.
Yeah, you got a point. And besides, hey, for you, I think the ping would be even lower in Vegas than it would be in New Jersey, right?
Say that one more time.
I
missed the first part of it.
I said, well, if the servers are in Vegas, at least they'll be closer to you than if they were in Jersey.
That is true. I suppose there's always the really, really remote possibility that they'll stick them around in this area. But I really don't think that would be what they would do. But, I mean, we've got other data servers here, so you never know.
You never know. All right. Anyway, so that's to talk about. They don't have too much in the way of details yet. They're still ironing things out. But they just wanted everyone to know that, yes, the 64-bit servers are planning to open up. I guess it's going to be sometime in January or early February, depending on how things go and getting them all ready. And now, please note that these are going to be regular servers and that you will be able to transfer characters onto them.
Yep.
And that even after a little while, after a few weeks, they even plan to be able to make it possible to bring the characters that you have from the old servers that are no longer in use over also, if you still have any there, because I know I, at least on the servers where I seriously played, I have brought all of mine over already, but I know some people have characters that are, let's say, lounging in the darkness because those servers haven't been
They
in
took
use for a
a
while.
long 3,000-year nap, and they'll wake up in Elrod's library. Oh, wait. Sorry, wrong story.
Wrong story. Sam Burke says, I got 3 native languages, kind of. Then I tried to learn 3 more languages on top of that. I notice he said tried there. I guess maybe he decided the 3 languages was enough.
Yeah. Let's say three, from what I have heard, three is pretty typical for Europe. So,
Yeah, 3 languages is pretty typical for Europe because you need to know.
your own.
You have to know your house language, and sometimes that's not the same as your national language.
Yep. And then you would want to know, because everything's so close together, a language where you would travel.
Right.
Because I think that folks in the United States would probably be better off if we actually had to change languages every time we changed and drove across state lines. But um we don't. So,
It feels like it sometimes, but that's another matter.
well, it might depend on where you go.
True.
But it definitely can feel like a whole nother country sometimes.
Yeah. So let's go and see what's on the roadmap then for 2025. In recent years, we have provided a high level roadmap with the aspirational goals of the upcoming year. This has proven beneficial in providing transparency and insight into the game's direction and setting expectations. Due to the nature of game design, aspirational goals often meet with reality, demands, and difficulties impacting our or outright blocking development from coming into fruition. Like remember how long it took the fourth profession to come around?
Yes, but I am so glad it did. I do love that.
Yeah. And there were a couple other things which they were hoping for but couldn't quite do because what do you mean we can't do that? Looking back on previous 2 roadmaps, there is a marked improvement this year. While we did not reach all of our aspirational goals we set forward, we came far closer and delivered some unexpected improvements. Actually, next week we are going to have a close look at that. As we look forward to 2025 and beyond, modifications to the roadmap will provide better clarity and communications. First, we are reducing the number of details on the roadmap to provide more concise and accurate information. Details explained beyond 6 months often shift due to priorities and resource demands and becomes irrelevant or wrong. To avoid this, we plan to provide an overview of the year ahead and then modify the roadmap quarterly with insight into development 6 months at a time. This should allow us to communicate the current state and implementation and potential shifts in goals and priorities. So in other words, we're going to get quarterly letters to the players, and the details will tend to be the first 6 months that they talk about will tend to be what they're going to be in more detail at this. This should allow us to communicate the current state and implementation and potential shifts of goals. Let us take a look at the plan for 2025 with details outlined for the first 2 major releases. So let's start out with the first quarter. This is going to include the raid, of course, which is, I guess, the big dungeon in there. That's going to be a 6, I believe, boss raid. Then this will also be
Wait. 6 boss?
Yeah, 6 boss.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, we'll go into that a little bit more later. And let's see. Oh, Sam Burke. Swedish is one of the native ones, and he learned English on top of that. Okay, so English and Swedish are his. Yeah, I guess that sounds like
Makes
two
sense.
likely
English is
languages.
one of the top 2 trade languages in the world, so
Right. So you have RAID, quality of life update, which means that there are going to be a number of things in the update which are going to, we hope, make things better. I would presume that lag and stuff like that will be part of the stuff that's going to be in the quality of life update, we hope. And maybe it'll have the answer to some of those Christmas wishes that we have.
yep.
Yeah. And then we have the next on the list is the deed log, that they're going to be making changes to the deed interface and fix, of course, bugs. And there will be an update to birding. They'll be adding more regions there where you could find your birds.
And I might have a Christmas surprise.
Ooh, all right. So therefore, those are the items that they're planning on the first quarter. The quality of life update, which will the raid, some updates to birding, and updates to the deed log. Now, the second quarter is the 18th anniversary, of course, and there will be a content update, which is going to be Uniting Shagana. There will also be a new instance and a new raid that will be coming up with this update. Yeah.
So I'm looking at that and I'm seeing 2 raids in the first 2 quarters.
Yep.
And I am appreciating their positive outlook on life. And just thinking about this last year and how long it took to get the most recent raid out, and thinking that maybe 2 raids in the first 2 quarters is a bit much, but they might pull it off. I sure hope that if they do, they're not like atrocious raids that have lots of bugs.
Well,
because they didn't give it enough time. Like, I really hope they actually give it the time to percolate the way it needs to, so that it comes out and doesn't have lots of bugs.
Now, in the third quarter will be the summer update. And they just say that this will be a free update. This will have system enhancements and more because, as I said, third quarter and fourth quarter are going to be rather vague so far. And in the fourth quarter, they say there will be an expansion pack with a level cap increase, some new landscape, and more. So we have to see what this new landscape is. We're wondering where they're going to go. And I'm wondering, are they going to be going north up into Harador, or maybe they will go eastward down towards the area of towards the easterlings, or if they're thinking of going up into Nern.
Nobody knows.
And
we'll all be surprised together.
Yeah, I got the impression from something that they said last year that they are not planning to head south, so it's unlikely that we'll be going into the deep desert of Harad.
Well, fair.
All right.
But things change. They might change their mind. You never know.
We will see. Yes.
Also, Sam's has an idea about the possible Christmas gift.
Ooh.
Homemade knitted sweaters to the whole LPN cast? And the answer is nobody has time for that.
Yeah, that is true.
I started a knitted sweater for myself, and I think I have 10 rows done.
10 rows?
And I started it like 2 years ago.
And yet you had time to crochet a quilt for one of your grandparents?
So quilting is much easier and faster. I started a quilt yesterday. It's almost done today.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic for a throw size quilt.
Yeah.
But also,
that-
knitting, the problem is that you have to finish the row before you put it down.
okay.
And there are so many things that happen in my life, dogs, kid, etc., that trying to finish a row and put it down and then pick it up and do it again, I'm like, I might as well crochet. So if I'm going to do something like that, it would definitely be crocheted because you put it down.
Okay. Then now here is their talk about the various quarters in paragraph form. The first quarter of 2025 includes a 6-boss raid in 3 wings to challenge players at level 150, a refresh of the deed panel, modernizing the interface and data management, myriad bug fixes, more class adjustments, and new areas to go birding. Additional alterations necessary for the legendary servers and Agmar will also continue. Our current plan is to release the update before the end of February.
Okay, drum roll, please. Christmas gift has arrived.
Ooh, okay.
There is a third person with us in chat.
That would be a Cristermas.
Ooh, a Cristermas!
Yes!
A Krister Kringle?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a reindeer jam up, and I was delayed. So.
Ooh.
We're glad you're with us.
Yeah,
You are
welcome.
just in time to give us your, to look at the thing and add in your own wish list and also what you did this week while we keep going.
Well, you could tell us, do you have any comments on the 64-bit servers that are coming up?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Looking forward to them.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to a magical time.
A magical time in the land of 64 bits.
Doubling the bits.
Doubling the bits. All right. By the time,
I apologize about that, Pine Leaf. I'm just curious because I didn't see. Did they designate specific servers, and would our server be one of them, or are these?
No. They're creating new servers.
Thank you. I was going to say, are these 4 brand new ones?
Yeah. These would be
brand spanking new.
Yeah, but they will allow transfers to them, and I suspect that a large number of people may be transferring characters off of their current servers to the 64-bit ones, which would probably make the 32-bit servers, I suspect, are going to become, maybe lower population worlds.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Now, with the 64-bit servers, are they going to have higher capacity than the other servers? These new worlds going to be bigger?
I believe that's what they're expecting, and I think that's what they've been keeping track of on Angmar and Mordor, was to see how the traffic was, what the capacity was, how well everything's fit into there, so that they could monitor how much they would need. Because I think that they're expecting a large migration, and that I would say within a couple weeks, I have a feeling that they're going to be expecting those to be the largest servers out there once the move is out there for a month.
Yeah, well, of course, I would imagine it would be on how those servers are received.
Yes,
how they're operating as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling that some people are going to be waiting a couple of weeks to make sure that they don't immediately crash and turn the fire. Hey, I just transferred over all of my characters, and now the server's down.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought. Is I used to be somebody that got right in front and go, me, I want to be first. And now I'm like, all of you go ahead of me. Okay, how many are dead? Okay, well, I'll go now.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see how stable they are, and also to make sure there are no wraiths before I dive in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to experience any notification like to all the people that lost their characters. Unfortunately, it is permanent.
Oh boy, that would be horrific.
I think I would cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the history.
Sam says you got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers from Wolf on Wall Street.
If I'm ever feeling ashamed of my gameplay, I just type, what is that, played in LOTRO, and
Oh,
I've wasted my life.
anyway. Well, what do you say about a six boss raid?
Uh, what are the locks like on that? What's the reset
Well,
plan?
there are going to be three wings, so I suspect each wing is probably going to be probably the locks are going to be independent for each wing.
So is it gonna be like Heligrad? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be. Yeah, it's a good question. Is it going to be like Heligrod or is it going to
Uh,
be?
was it the anvil? Right? No, no, no. Oh shoot, what was the one that we did all the time? The one with the
Mm,
Mumax. Uh,
Oh,
Realm of Stars,
no.
no, not Domus Carbs.
Osgiliath.
I think it'd be the one that's in Dunland.
Well, it's the one where when you
Endenwythe,
first.
actually.
I can't.
Endenwythe.
I hate how my mind works. Um, but you, when you first go in there, you're going off to the left to fight this a big troll, and then the next fight is the Mumax, which are out in the field,
Oh, oh,
where you have to.
oh, 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 that one.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's.
I know
Now,
that one.
now I know that you guys know what I'm talking about because I can hear the pain and
Yes, yes.
terror
I
in your
think we did
voices.
that a couple of weeks ago. Uh,
Throne of
Mm,
Dread Terror. Throne.
yeah, Throne of Dread
Throne of
Terror.
Dread Terror.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was the
Throne of
one.
Dread
Yeah.
Terror. Yeah, yes,
So
Throne of
that's what
Dread
you're kind of.
Raid. Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what
You
you're
know, I
reminding
don't.
me of with
I don't know if
this
I've
one.
ever seen the third wing of that.
No, that's the whole thing. I mean, that was unlike so many other of those raids. That was a commitment. I mean, if you were going to do the whole thing, you're going to be sitting there for 4 hours doing it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, we would typically just get stuck with those Moonmax more often than not, and that's where the night would end. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And say I did the Moomox with Ploy, which is why I know
Oh,
what one it is. But we never went past the Moomox, so
yeah,
I don't know what that last stage looks like in
yeah.
that one.
Anytime we won and then we felt good about ourselves, then we lost 15 times in a row after that, just to put us right back in our. Don't get hope, you know. But I would be, I'm intrigued and interested in the mechanics of it too, because it'd be nice to. Uh, I don't know if it's going to be a big one, is to have more time to be able to complete it, in
Yeah.
stages, I guess. But
Right.
I can't say anything. We don't know what the parameters are
We
yet.
don't know the parameters yet or anything like this, but is right now I'm going to guess that it's going to be that the locks are going to be separate for each of the three wings so that you could do them at separate points. And that for deed cred or anything like that, yeah, how are they handle because the charge, the bringing the leading the charge one is if you get leading the charge, I, it would probably have to be for getting all three wings complete. It's going to be just by completing the three wings in any order, or is it something that you need to complete one wing in order to unlock the second wing and then unlock the
Right.
third wing? It's sort of similar to what you have with the with Fornost, where you had to do the first water wing before you could unlock the earth wing and going on progressing like that. We have to find out. By the time February arrives, we should be in position to extend the details of the roadmap into the quarter 3 release of 2025 and provide greater detail on the quarter 2 release. We want to take this time to thank you for your continued support and love for the game. We look forward to 2025 and beyond with great expectation and anticipation. We hope that you will join us as the road goes on. For now, we will release more details as we get closer to the first release of 2025. As always, I remain Orion. And that is the letter for December 2024, and we could expect another one somewhere, I'd say late February or early March would be my current guess.
Yep.
Now, just in case you want to know, is that the downtimes, the weekly downtimes, which are traditionally on Wednesdays, they are going to be adjusting that for the next 2 weeks, in that they are expecting next week's downtime to be on Tuesday, December 24th. So I guess it means you cannot plan any Eastern, Eastern morning shenanigans on the Christmas Eve for.
Now, see, if you live where I do and you're up at 4:30 in the morning, you can still get your gaming in before they shut the servers down on the 24th. But also that's when my family celebrates, so I will not be home most of that day.
Okay.
Anyways, so like from the time the servers go down until the time the servers are back up, by that point I'm probably going to be out of the house. So
Okay. Then on the following week, the downtime will be on Thursday, January 2nd.
excellent timing.
That's a good plan. Yeah.
Okay. In other
Day
words,
to recover.
well, essentially the 24th is going to be when I guess the last time which will be someone in the office in order to handle the server thing. Probably the next time there's going to be someone around to handle it would probably be the day after New Year's. So I suspect that's the reason for that schedule.
I
Or
have
they
another
have
theory. Oh, I have another theory.
Yeah.
And that would be that what if Santa Claus is such a Lotro addict that he said, listen, you better not have any downtime while I have the ability to play. So the only downtime you guys can have is on December 24th when I'm starting to get ready to work. So if you don't do it, all of your kids are going on the naughty list. All right. So I think that's my theory. I feel like it's been generated by eating my aunt's home cooked food and a lot of caffeine. That's why I think I'm having this vision.
I think it's a solid theory. My theory was going to be that they gave them specifically the 25th and 26th off, and at that point, you might as well just wait.
I think
and then they probably had the 31st and the 1st off.
well,
Um,
actually, I think they have the entire week between Christmas and New Year's off
I hope so.
because
frankly.
it's a gaming industry
need
that's
it.
pretty much because the gaming industry, I think that they traditionally shut down for that entire week.
That would make sense then.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about the gaming industry.
Yeah.
I just know I know about the ed industry.
Yeah, they sort of
They
follow.
shut down a bit longer than
Yeah, similar reasoning in there is that you just had this downtime for everyone just to relax a little
They
time
need a
before coming
break.
back and hoping they'll be ready to go when January comes along.
Yes, and you definitely don't want them on January 1st.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And the next Court of the Rings is, as I said before, Court of It is going to be out for the next two episodes of Court of the Rings. So the next one will be on January 10th, and that's most likely the one that will be with Severland to talk all about the 64-bit servers, and we're hoping that they'll have a good amount of information so they can share with us so we'll know everything that we need to know about the new servers. So let's go into store sales. What do you say, Cinders?
Store sales this week. Let me scroll back up to them. I was putting in title ideas. The Whimsical Patrons Coffer is back for a limited time, and you too can go skipping through the world. It is available now through January 2nd in the LOTRO store, and you can learn more on lotro.com. Double bonus points is back also through January 2nd, so it's a great time to stock up on those LOTRO points to spend on all of the wonderful things that you might need. December deals continue with special sales every week. Through December 26th, you can get 75% off Skill and Slayer Deed Boosts, 50% off emotes, 35% off ingredient crates. And then you can go there and back again and get 30% off of Milestone Skills, Hurried Traveler and Returning Traveler, Advanced Riding Traits, and Rally Horns through December 26th.
5 minute
And the
cooldowns.
weekly coupon.
5 minute cooldowns.
Yep. 5-minute cooldowns, which are fantastic if you are not a hunter or a warden or a mariner. And then the weekly coupon is for 5 free black steel keys, and the code is keys please.
Okay.
KEYSPLZ. Also through December 26th.
So it'd be So do you have to say it as 5 black keys?
5 black steel keys.
Yeah, that's it.
Um, Sam says, yes, the date reminded me the English main language countries celebrate on the 25th instead of on the 24th as most other countries. And then also club staff and bombadilla skipping. Yep. It's the only way to move through the world. I've even got pine leaf skipping again. So I'm feeling pretty happy about that.
All right. Now let's go and see about a little bit of wish listing.
Yes.
Oh,
And
Chris.
so
Yeah.
while Krister puts his wish list in,
He
so I
hasn't
don't
put
make
it
it
in
a
yet.
no, he hasn't.
He's putting in his week in gaming.
He's let's say he's
I didn't
playing with.
realize what you were talking about, and then I realized I wasn't connected. So there we go.
That's okay. I'll buy you some time there because otherwise I'm gonna make it up for you, and you might not appreciate that. So I will start with my wish list, and my number one wish is Shire Plum Dye for Warsteed Cosmetics.
What a shock.
And right, I know. I'm just gonna keep beating this drum until I get it. I also would like a crafting recipe book or carry-all that will store all of the extra copies of single-use recipes, so that I can get them out of my vault. And then I think all dwarf candles should be baubles. That would be the other part of my wish. Pine Leaf would like to have a 64-bit server that isn't infested with wraiths.
Well, yeah, that's very important.
I'm with him on that one. More fireworks as baubles, preferably with labels that tell you what they are.
And the reason why I say that, there is a fireworks bauble called Unlabeled Fireworks.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was actually labeled.
Yes. Well, it's because
Agreed.
I think it's supposed to be a random firework that it puts out or something like this. I haven't used it enough times in order to know what type of fireworks it covers.
Yeah, I haven't tried that either. A dispel lag spell. And a local theater showing the War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah, our local theaters are just not showing it. So.
Krister would like to have current level cap bridles. A raid that requires trampling to win, and also, which reminds me, your favorite skill came up, in Friday Night Fights. Somebody had just discovered the trampling skill, and they thought it was great. They're like, we were trampling. They started out, did you know on the heavy war steed, there's a skill called trample? And Leaf and I laughed.
Yeah, if I could only erase my memory so I could experience discovering trampling again. What a magical moment it must have been in their life.
Well, so this particular person would like to try getting a group together to go trampling across Rohan. Just in a line. Everybody on heavy war steeds just trampling and sending things flying for fun. I'm not opposed to this idea. Oh, then number 3, Dragon Mount with a tail full of Sidewinder missiles.
What?
That also would be fun.
Well, I feel like that would be the flying equivalent of trampling.
Now, see, I would be happy just with a Dragon Mount. But the Sidewinder missiles, nice touch. And then Finn and DeBoyo also sent in their wish list, which we will tell you about in the feedback email section coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right. Now, Sam Burke, after talking about the Bombadil pack
Skipping.
Let's talk about Club Staff and Bombadil skipping, then noted that it makes him contemplate creating his first Hobbit lore master.
Highly recommend.
Yep.
Lore masters are great.
All right. Then let's head into our week in gaming. Krister, what were you up to?
So, had a productive hung out with the Ken, and we talked about doing stuff and what I need to do to get back into raiding. So, looking forward to getting that squared away. Krister is now a fixer-upper. but
Okay.
I have a feeling that once he's tuned up, he'll be incredible as usual.
Ready for February's raid?
I think I'll be ready for
Okay.
February's raid. Oh yes. If anything, I'll just fake it until you guys see me die over and over again. And then couple excursions into Path of Exile 2 and Helldivers 2. So that was my week. It was kind of a little bit dicey because I got a flat tire, which was exciting. And then work was pretty crazy. But the cool thing is I'm working on Monday. However, I don't believe I will receive a single email. So it'll almost be like vacation, but not quite. So
And
Sanders,
now now are you allowed to work at home on Monday, or do they require
Oh,
you
yeah,
to go into
yeah.
the? Okay.
Yeah, we're basically the tail end of the grace period for us working full remote.
Okay.
So my New Year's resolution will be to not get angry about having to commute into work again.
Oh, kindly.
War of the Oinkirim?
I was just gonna point that out to you. Laurelin Hobbit roleplay can ship Grand Order of the Lost Matham on December 24th, which so that's in Laurelin,
Yeah.
clearly. Where at is that gonna be? Because that would be hysterical.
Yeah.
I need to watch.
I just hope that they're not scheduling it for for right in the middle of the downtime. Yes.
No.
If you are one of the Grand Order of the Lost Matham and you discover that they're scheduling it during that, you should probably
Adjust.
notify your kin
Yes.
mates that that's happening. Sam
Oh.
says the trailer is on YouTube. If I can find that when I put this together, I will link it for you all. Because that sounds delightful.
All right.
Oh, and so I was had concluded my week in gaming. So Cinders, what were you up to?
So I actually played with the Academy, and I have not done that in at least a year, probably longer. On Arkenstone, and we discovered my poor burglar could not leave the Mines of Moria without assistance. She had no rep ports. She had no. She didn't have her Hobbit port to Mickle Delving. Like, she was stuck. She was in the Redhorn Loads, and she was able to stable to the 21st Hall. That was it. And from the 21st Hall, she could go within the Mines of Moria, but she didn't have anything open to go anywhere else. And everywhere else that she could have gone was too high. They're like, must be this level to go here. Must be this level to go here. So Sam took his character to Rivendell to summon her, since he had a captain, so that she could actually go get an LI that was in date. And so we spent the first part just setting up LIs. Then I picked, and then we glitched out Dome of Stars during Friday night fights on the first boss. So we all ended up locked out because we died and pulled back to the start. And when it reset, my lore master was in combat, and we discovered that they can still hit you, but you cannot hit them from outside the boss room. So, since we could not get it to reset, or my lore master out of combat, even though she dropped the group, dropped the instance, came back in, it didn't work. So we moved on to do other instances with more success. And then Pine Leaf and I have finally moved on to the new location in Hardwaith. And we have also just learned about a new sloshier and a very lethal goo. And I'm really glad Krister's here to hear about it so that he knows what he has to look forward to.
So you're telling me there's more goo in my future?
Yes. But this goo is more like Greek fire goo.
Well, I want to tell you, at this point in my life, I've dealt with many types of goo. I'm not afraid of goo anymore. I'm just disgusted by it.
So, Highleaf and I are intrigued by this goo. So, unlike the
Oh,
others,
great! You just named the next form of goo. Now there's going to be an intriguing goo. If there
There's
isn't
already intriguing goo.
that's what I was going to say. There probably already is.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Simpsons did it. They already have
Yeah.
a goo like that.
they did not call it goo, but I decided it must be goo-like for it to accomplish what it's supposed to.
Okay. Hot
Oh, goo.
goo.
Yes. All right, that was my weekend gaming. Fine Leaf, how was yours?
All right. My Mariner was doing some questing in Iridir, where just getting warmed up in the story, in the latest story here on the Song of Waves and Wind. My Warden was continuing along in that story also, where I am in the second zone, but I'd say about halfway through the story of the second zone, so I was going through the dead areas and doing the Jerush quests all around there. I think I'm finishing up on the Jerush quests. And finally, I tried out a game I have played before called Dawnmaker, which is a deck builder game where you are trying to restore civilization to a lost continent that was destroyed by smog, of all things. I mean smog as in the very thick and smoky fog, not as in a certain dragon that used to live in the Lonely Mountain.
Oh, I thought it was the dragon.
Well, maybe the dragon caused the smog.
Smog.
Yeah, smog.
I'll
And,
buy it.
all right.
Smog, eggs, and smog.
And that was my weekend gaming. And we have email responses from last week. Krister, could you read Finn's holiday response?
All right, let's see. Finn on Landreval, for his holiday response, responded with the following. I would wish for the minstrel to be the top healer in game like it used to be. I love the DPS that my mini does now, but I made him all those years ago to be a healer. Also, I would wish for peace on earth and goodwill towards all. Thanks, as always, for the work you all do for the show and keeping us entertained all these years. Looney Finn. Finn, thank you so much.
Very well.
But we all know that you have violence in your heart. And
All right. And we also have a letter from someone from Evernight. So, Cinders, what does Duboyo say?
Salutations and season's greetings to you, one and all. So many things I would like for Yuletide, but I will limit my list to 3 things, as even though I have been a good boy, I can't say I have been a very good boy. Number 1, inventory and vault space. Thank you, Standing Stones, for a new coffer, and the Rohirrim outfit is nice. But how about some space so I can keep the items?
Yes.
yes,
Right? Number 2, a random button. I would love to click a button and get a random mount, or a button for a random pet, or even an emote. Random, baby. Surprise me. Number 3, time. So much content and so little time to play. Keep hoping somebody will pay me to play, but nope. So off to work I go when I could be in Middle Earth doing important stuff. I would be happy with any one of the above. Players Alliance, make it happen. Smiley face. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Duboyo on Evernight. Thank you.
As for the random button, I think there's a plugin that does that.
Oh, I want that plugin. Because as soon as I read that, I was like, yes, that would be so fun. You never know what was coming.
And
One time, it's your hobby horse. The next time, it's your big steed of Yuletide with antlers. Like, oh, that would be great.
or the next time it's like you took a drink from the sinister cake.
It ports you somewhere random. That would be
Oh,
fun
there'd be a
too.
lot of possibilities.
A lot of possibilities on
Why
that.
don't we have a Yule keg that just ports you somewhere snowy?
We're just snowy.
Well, I would have figured you guys might have understood this at now, but there is a Yule keg that does exactly that. Now, they tried it once, and it failed miserably. And if you want to see the outcome of that experiment, go to Winterholm right now. You're going to see a hobbit passed out on the ground in his own sick, and that is my friend, who was the unfortunate sole drinker of that Yuletide cake. I would not recommend it.
Valid.
All right, I didn't think about that. All right, I was just trying to see if there was if I could find that thing. I think that if that plugin is woefully obsolete and doesn't support any new mounts or anything like that, as maybe we could talk V4 into updating it so that it can be usable, since he sometimes updates old plugins in his stream. But that is it for our questions, for our responses to last week's question. So, if you are listening in here, then you know that the Players Alliance has 2 live shows. We record on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, LOTRO Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You can listen to our shows at LOTROPlayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight, and this is Positive Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.